Okay, so we've got our favourite question here because we get to use our favourite song to remember how to do this question. So the circle song, bit you need to remember. When I need to find the circumference, I'll just use pi d. And so that's all we have to do for this question. Pi times by the diameter gives me the circumference. So I've got the diameter in the question as 140, and I need to use the pi button on my calculator. So I'm going to write down that I'm going to do pi times by 140 and then type that in. So on most calculators your pi button is the middle button on the bottom, but you have to press shift to get it. So if I press shift and then that middle button on the bottom, I get the pi sign coming up on my calculator screen, and that times by 140 then gives me my answer. Now these calculators will, like they leave things as fractions, leave them in terms of pi, so I'm going to need to press the SD button to turn it into a decimal. So my calculator comes up with 439.8229715. Now, going back to the question, it asks for it to 3 significant figures. So remembering that significant figures means that they are figures not including 0, it means that in this case I'm going to be rounding to the nearest whole number because I'm in the hundreds. So because I've got an 8 after the decimal point, it means that I need to round the 9 up, which is going to have a knock-on impact, and round the 3 up, so it's slightly difficult rounding to be done, but it will give me 440. So that's then what I would write down on that answer line. And with a question like this, take real care to write down your workings and write down the answer before it's rounded, because otherwise you're going to lose all of your marks as opposed to just 1 for not rounding it correctly.